can afford it. We are all exploited in this society when they ignore environmental catastrophe and build pipelines and pollute our air and our water. We are all vulnerable in this society where we have no control over our democracy, and those that have the most money control our laws and our policies.
The goal of socialist students is to politicize campuses, to get student bodies thinking politically and thinking about specifically left independent politics as opposed to corporate politics. Essentially, it's about creating an activist layer amongst the student body in order to build left independent movements.
Our priorities under capitalism favor those who make up the 1%, meaning the top 1% of the wealthiest people in the world own more money than the rest of the 99% combined.
Socialism is about freedom and it's about people. It is about people making democratic decisions about allocating resources in the best way for it to serve all people, as opposed to capitalism where a very small amount of people control resources and allocate it in order for them to gain more wealth and power.
Socialist students, we have organized a socialist organization here on campus.
Cool, through Columbia?
Yes, here at Columbia.
Cool.
We are having a public meeting tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Talking about who should progressive support. We're endorsing Jill Stein as an organization, and we're going to be sort of making the case for that.
Okay.
But, you know, all points of view are welcome, of course. And yeah, so if you want to come and check that out, feel free. We're also having an election watch party Tuesday night.
I'm just handing out papers. Like, no, hold on.
So how many of those do you hand out?
I hand out 2. So we have 2 events happening right now. We have Who Should Progressive Support, which is going to happen tonight, and then we also have the election watch party, which is going to be on the 8th.
Okay.
This one's going to be the joint with UIC and Columbia, and this one's just us.
If a socialist student's descendants was down the street here, and that we would have been demanding that not only do we not want ramen, but we want a non-Democrat, non-Republican, someone who is not taking money from the rich 1% of Chicago, including Trump, who's not of Chicago, but you get the premise, took money from Trump as well. And also is a supporter or a surrogate for Hillary Clinton. Imagine what that would have felt like if we would have had those numbers.
I always thought I was a Democrat growing up. My dad was in the union, my mom owned a small business, and we were always like super Democratic. Yeah, I just always remember even being in elementary and other kids talking about who they'd be voting for, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely voting for the Democrat. Like I was 10. As soon as I started talking to Socialist Alternative, I was like, yeah, this is what I am. Like, duh. Well, I don't know why more people aren't like this. Like, it just seemed inevitable.
So, which kind of political systems are you looking to abolish?
So 2-party systems. We don't need any parties at all. So,
Hi there.
we think the opposite.
We believe that obviously there needs to be a eradication of the so-called liberal democratic system because it's not really democratic at all.
I never thought I would be part of a Marxist organization, and I never imagined that I would have gotten to this level this quickly, but I'm really glad I did. We're a small organization, but we're an organization that has the ability to punch above our weight. Take the example of Seattle. We had a city council member named Shama Sawant. We got her elected and re-elected with very small forces. Socialist Alternative wasn't even at the point that it's at now at the 800 plus members. It was an even smaller organization, and they were able to mobilize a mass movement in Seattle in order to get a socialist elected. And just by the nature of our politics, which are revolutionary politics, the numbers aren't going to grow to, say, mass numbers like a Democratic Party. Socialist Alternative's goal is to get mass movements built into their sort of own organization. We're advocating for the building of a new party of the 99%.
I don't see how, if we don't have more people thinking that way, how anything will get done. It's kind of like voting third party. When people say, oh, this isn't the election. I don't think this is the year that we should be voting third party. So then we say, when is the good time? You know, like, why not now? We have this saying in Socialist Alternative, once you realize how fucked up the system is, there's like no turning back.